Men Talk. Hear the voice of the strong through the highs and lows. We all belong. Oh yeah, oh yeah, Men Talk. We carry on.
Welcome to Men Talk. This is, as we call, episode 0. And what episode 0 basically is just some information about what Men Talk is going to be about. When my producer said to me, well, I think we should give, some background or talk about what Men Talk's about, I said, I didn't want to write anything down. I wanted it to just be between me and you, and it'd be very real and authentic, because Men Talk is about real men having real conversations. For example, we don't talk about health. We don't talk about our relationships. We don't talk about things that will basically embarrass us. And I have to be real with you. I think as men, real men, we have to get rid of pride. I think pride will kill us, honestly. We have been interviewing people on the street, just asking them what they feel about men, women, what they feel about men. And a lot of them have said that men are not about much. They don't wine and dine. They don't spend time. They only just want a booty call. And I must say, I believe that a lot of this is true. But here's the whole thing. It's not just about men. Women, you're not offering things that men want either. I think it's a two-way street. I think we as humans have to work together. As you know, I'm going through a divorce, and never thought I would be going through this divorce the way it's going. It's very bitter, and it's unfortunate that there's other people going through the same thing, and I didn't know it. Believe it or not, I mean, when you're in your own world, you don't think about the other things. You don't think about other people. And in this situation that I have been through, imagine, I just want you to imagine coming to your home where you have built for your kids and for your wife. Imagine getting into an argument with your spouse and the police are called and you are removed from your house that you've put all your blood, sweat, and tears in. No one cared. No one cared. And I found that the only person that I could talk to was myself, because nobody else understood. But then I didn't realize that other people were going through the same thing. And as I've been on this journey, I got to meet people that are going through the same things that I'm going through, which is really, really interesting. But what I realize is sometimes you need to talk to someone that is going through the same thing you're going through. Why? Because you feel like you're on the island by yourself. But when you realize someone else is going through the same thing too, you realize there is hope. I do see why men do what they do, not making an excuse for them. But I do see why they do what they do, because at the end of the day, we just want to be loved, just like you want to be loved. And sometimes we go about things the wrong way. And I think communication is lacking on our behalf and on the behalf of women. I think that we have to be able to communicate with each other so that we can understand, the different points of view. One thing about a relationship is there's two people coming together to make it work. It's not just one-sided. We have to work together. And so Men Talk basically was created for real men having real conversations about how they feel about relationships, how they feel about their children, how they feel about their job, how they feel about their health. There's a lot of men that are dying early because they refuse to get checkups, because they're embarrassed to get a colonoscopy, cancer screening, or whatever it may be. I think that sometimes we as men have to step up. We have to start being examples for our kids. We have to start leading our children. We can't be cussing and drinking and smoking in front of our kids, thinking that they're not going to do the same thing. When they're in school with their friends, guess what they're doing? They cussing and carrying on like you are. You have to be an example. And that's not just a man, that's a woman too. Women, you have daughters, and you want your daughters to be wholesome. You don't want your daughters to be hoes. Gentlemen, you want your sons to be whole. You don't want them to be broken. We have to start doing what needs to be done for our family members. And that's something that a lot of us take for granted, you know? And me saying this to you, some of you are going to say, oh, that's not me. But believe it or not, sometimes it is you. You just don't want to see it. You got to look in the mirror. You know, at the end of the day, we are supposed to be raising children that are going to be something. You want them to be better than you are. You want them to make more money than you made. You always want them to be a step ahead of you. Actually, I was having a conversation with the producer last night, I believe, and he said to me, and if I'm misquoting this, you can step in, but he said that he would like to live a day longer than his child does, just to make sure that his child is going to be okay. And some of us, we need to wake up and realize that this world doesn't mean no good for your children. I'm telling you now. Look at this in the school system, no left behind rule. Half these kids don't need to be graduating, but we put them through anyway. Half of them can't read, half of them can't write. They don't know any kind of math, but we still promote them. Why? Because that's what society wants, dumb children. Let's be real. So then they can manipulate them. We need to step up. Step up. And as they used to say to old folks, step up and step out and stand up for what's right. I believe that we have been typecast in this genre of men are worthless. And I don't think it's so. It's not all men are worthless. There are some real good men out there, but we just can't seem to find that real good woman that can work with us. Because it's not about us doing everything for them. It's about working together to make things happen. So men talk, I believe, is something that is necessary for our culture. I think that we need to start talking to one another. We need to start helping one another. I believe that if we do these things, then things can change. You know, the other side to this is once I got into this, I realized that the court system is really not our friend. And of course, it was established many, many, many years ago. And as you know, times change and the laws have not changed. And unfortunately, I believe that we need a divorce reform. I believe that we need child support reform. I believe we need alimony reform, because the way things are set aside right now, why should a man have to pay child support for a child that he has 50% custody of? Why can't he have that child, take care of that child when he is with that child? And why can't she take care of that child when she's with that child? I don't understand why why am I paying you to take care of my kid when I can do the same thing? Alimony. I believe that, yes, if a woman has been in a relationship with a man and a business or whatever it may be has been established together, yes, I believe that there should be some kind of compensation, you know, for that individual for an amount of time until that person can get on their feet and do what they need to do. I don't think that a man, or for that matter, a woman, should be supporting another person that they're no longer with. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about, a lot of communication. And they say, oh, well, the legislation, we got to change the legislation. Let me tell you, that's easier said than done. Somebody's getting a check, okay, over there. And that's all they care about is what they're getting. They don't care about you at the end of the day. And we, as the voice, the people, we have more power than you think if we pull together and start communicating and start working together. One thing I can definitely say, there's so many races that, you know, they come together. And I'm just going to be real. There's a lot of like Asians, they come together and they work together. You know, the Spanish, they come together and they work together. The black people, not so much. We're so busy tearing each other down because we're so jealous of what the other person has. I believe that we need to stop the foolishness and start working together. Because at the end of the day, we want what's best for our families, for our children. I think that men, we need to start stepping up and showing as an example how a man should navigate through life. And I believe that that's what we're lacking. We just, I guess, have gone down the rabbit hole from how we were raised. And some of us were raised, in a one-parent household, didn't have a father there, which is unfortunate. I came from a house where my father was in there. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. And, I saw some things, the best thing I saw, my grandmother showed me that you need to have your own. You have to have your own business. You can't always work for someone. Sometimes the best way of life is to have your own. And I'm so grateful to her that she implemented that in my life. And we need to start doing that for our children. We need to start doing things for them, putting things aside for them, a bank account, some properties, things like that. So when they get of age that they can have a foot in the door. We got to stop going backwards. And the man wants to keep us down, and we have to stop being down. We need to stand up for what's right. So Men Talk, that's what it's about. I believe that you will enjoy the release of Men Talk that is about to come on right after this. I want you to, if you have questions and comments or whatever it may be, please send them, because we would love to talk about different subjects that people, would like to hear about. I believe that we are here as a sounding board for not just each other, but for you too. We would love to have you on the show. We do have capabilities to have you on from where you're sitting in your living room. So please be part of what we're trying to do here. Help us go viral. Send, share, like, subscribe, do it all, because we really want to hear from the people. But more importantly, we want to share that you're not alone, because we're not alone. There are so many people out here that are going through and they have no one to talk to, and they're embarrassed. There is no reason to be embarrassed about a situation, because guess what? Someone else is going through the same thing, if not worse. It may be the same, but at least they have somebody that they can identify with. And I believe for me, that's what has helped me through, because I have other people around me have gone through or are going through the same thing that I'm going through. I wish, though, somebody could have warned me. I wish somebody could have warned me that, this would be this way, that divorce would be a bad thing. And how the court systems will take that and run with it. When you get an attorney, you have to make sure you get an attorney that doesn't have a hidden agenda. Okay, that's number one. Usually their agenda basically is to get paid. So if they can stretch it out, they will stretch it out. And the advice they give you, it's not the greatest advice. Because remember, when you got into the marriage, you were in love with the person. You liked the person, whatever it may be. And you had a good time for however long you were together. But when it went bad, it went bad. And unfortunately, instead of, going your separate ways amicably, you go and you get a lawyer, and the next thing you know, it becomes a real bad situation. I have seen some things in this court system that I never thought it would be. Being judged by being a man, not just a black man or a white man or a Hispanic man or Asian man, a man in general. It's horrible. Every man is not the same. And because one man has done something one way doesn't mean the other men are going to do it the same way. I don't think we should be held to that standard. I think that sometimes there are circumstances that play a part, and each case needs to be evaluated on its merit. So anyway, I am so glad that you have tuned in to see Men Talk. I hope that you enjoy our labor. We are now working on season 2, going into season 3, and we are going to be here just to talk, because that's what we do. Real men having real conversations. Take care.